Welcome to a 1v1 on Faymonville Approach. This game's Jesulin versus VonAsten. Jesulin playing as Overcommand in west and north, VonAsten Soviets in the south. We've got Luftwaffe ground forces chosen by Jesulin immediately. VonAsten going with mechanized support, guard motor, and shock rifle. Pretty standard stuff from both of these players. I'm not as familiar with Jesulin's use of Luftwaffe. I don't know if he fields Fallschirmjäger. Fallschirmjäger.
Contact with enemy infantry. Combat engineer.
We'll see what he decides to do. He grabs building control over here on the left with his Volksgrenadiers. His SWS provided vision against those conscripts, but didn't really participate in the engagement, really. Sternpios jump inside the building to try and screen against the capture of this fuel point for as long as they can. They're falling low. You need to try and engage as long as you can and as effectively as you can without losing a single model. As soon as one model dies on your Sternpios, you basically retreat them immediately. Or try and retreat them before even that happens, because they're really cost effective if you just get 1 or 2 model kills and then retreat and heal. They're not cost effective if you let them fall down to 2 or 1 man. Then usually whatever engagement they were in was not worth it. So something to think about. A lot of infantry that don't do that much DPS and are just meant to hold the line, like Volksgrenadiers, you can keep around until they fall to 3, 2, 1 man. And cheap to reinforce, it's not a big deal. Sternpios with their huge DPS though generally need to retreat a lot earlier. Huge DPS, small squad size.
We have more conscripts at our disposal.
Means you have a very different dynamic with them than conscripts, for example. That's true of pretty much every close range infantry squad.
Enemy contact.
That's not good. That's extremely bad. Jesulin throwing up his mechanized regiment headquarters in front of 3 squads of conscripts. He needs to cancel this immediately. He should have canceled that as soon as those 2 squads of conscripts were oorahing toward it. Attempting to complete this is futile, and that's all that resource is down the drain. He will be able to bleed a little of his opponent's manpower here. But other than that, Jesulin takes huge fuel loss right there. 200 manpower down the drain, 40 fuel down the drain. That is and of course it sets his tech back by a ridiculous amount. 3 minutes into the game. And now he's got to wait for his next truck to arrive for another 2 minutes, or he'll even be able to build his first structure. This is a setback that most OKW players are not able to recover from. We'll see if Jesulin can make an attempt though.
Heavy machine guns are now available.
5 squads of conscripts on the field, and he's researching Molotovs next to help him against this sort of situation. It's blatant abuse of green cover by Jesulin. Green cover abuse. So overpowered. And 2 MG34s have been fielded by Jesulin. Obviously, he will need to invest almost all of his manpower into Tier 0 and 4 units until he can get some tech up. And by almost all, I mean literally all. Literally all of his manpower into Tier 0 units and call-in units. Since he doesn't have any tech units or structures to spend it on for the next few minutes. Volksgrenadiers doing what they can, but Molotovs are putting a lot of pressure on him. He's really struggling to hold his lines. 1 MG34 set up just in front of the base to protect this cutoff. We've also got a squad of Volksgrenadiers working on this strategic point in the back. Conscripts inside the house will force a full retreat from those Volksgrenadiers as well. Sandbag fighting position going up here on the victory point. MG34 chases away that conscript squad.
Mission accomplished. Heavy fortification now available. Pioneers standing by. Grenadiers back to full strength. Supply hub getter is ready for orders.
That squad of conscripts will retreat. Focus Grenadiers continue to engage from green cover. MG34 with Focus Grenadiers engaging from green cover over here. Conscripts simply stalling and delaying while backhabbing is done by combat engineers here of this area. Neither player has managed to get control of the north or south victory points because they've been engaging furiously for the center house. Conscripts set up in the green cover position on the fuel. Toss Molotov. Late reaction by Jesulin. There's one crit. There's two crits. Jesulin. Late retreat. Takes a lot of manpower bleed in that engagement. 3 MG34s from Jesulin, and finally his truck arrives. He's been trying to keep his troops healed with the medical supply box right there, and he's throwing up a new battle group in his base now. He went mechanized regiment first, now he's going battle group. He's just gonna he was probably gonna try and go flak half track. Now he has no choice but to go straight to Jagdpanzer, so that certainly makes sense. And of course he doesn't want to bleed any more munitions on these medical supply boxes. He used this ability once, and using them on Sternpile is always a good call. On Focus Grenadiers, it's not as important to keep the squads healed. They'll actually heal on their own at Vet 3. Sternpiles, on the other hand, absolutely have to be at full health for any engagement that they are going to participate in. MG34 there in the north forces a retreat from those conscripts, and it's now 3 MG34s, 3 Focus Grenadiers, Sternpiles against 5 conscripts and combat engineers.
Command vehicle has gone static. HQ operations now underway. Weapon team ready. Taking fire! No enemy activity.
It looks like the real Jesulin. If you notice, the eye has a slightly different font. The fake Jesulin doesn't have that fancy looking eye. Or slightly different, like, ASCII character. It's got like that weird thing over the top of the eye. It's really him, basically. It is definitely really Jesulin.
Send orders.
Grenade toss there in the south. Heavy damage, nice placement. And there they go.
Grenadiers back to full strength.
The battle is about to commence.
Maneuver and fire. Use your speed. Unit ready.
Setting up here.
Crew, prepare for orders. Taking effective fire. Heads down.
MG34 protecting against this avenue of approach. We'll spot those conscripts coming through red cover. They'll get suppressed. MG34 does not switch targets, and we'll get Molotov back into the base. Jesulin retreating that, and Pio's moving into short range on those conscripts. May win this engagement, although there's a flamethrower to assist. Sternpiles will be forced to retreat soon. They're going to stick around in the engagement for a little bit longer. They are now Vet 2, inflicting heavy damage on those cons. That's going to be a wipe if they don't retreat. There they go. Sternpiles also retreat. Looks like they'll get away with no losses. No lucky crits. Pretty good engagement for Jesulin right there. Throw some Fallschirmjäger out of the courthouse, or whatever this is. I don't know why they keep on doing this weird teleportation thing. I feel like when they're reloading, they like blink out of existence. Like, what are they doing? It's a little weird. They wipe that squad though. Wow. Really good opening engagement for those Fallschirmjäger. Grenade brings this conscript squad extremely low too. Jesulin's infantry force is getting quite large and quite strong compared to VonAsten's, which seem to be getting smaller. Manpower hasn't really changed very much. No float. Not that much fuel float from VonAsten right now either, interestingly enough. Jesulin holds pretty much the entire map. It looks like he's going to go tier 4 right here to continue to protect some of his territory. Fallschirmjäger's working on the north. MG-34 heading straight towards the fuel.
Field promotion! Contact! Infantry assaulting! Incoming fire!
Stern Pios lose a model pretty early right there. That's going to make them a little bit weak for this engagement. They're taking heavy damage. There goes the next one. They need to retreat or die. I don't know if they're going to get away. Conscripts inside the house firing at them on their retreat, and they just barely make it to safety. Grenade into the house brings the squad of conscripts quite low. MG-34 firing on them as they retreat. Some pretty lethal engagements, not really going in anybody's favor. Some near misses on both sides. Fallschirmjäger are not set up in green cover for this engagement and will be forced to retreat immediately. Green cover, Fallschirmjäger are extremely cost effective, and any other cover, not very cost effective. They pretty much have to be in green cover to engage well. But when they are in green cover, they engage extremely well. They're kind of a very extreme example of that. Just kind of strange. Because they seem to die really quickly without cover, but they also kill extremely quickly, and they're also a medium-range squad.
Enemy forces are neutralizing a sector.
They're very unique. The way you have to use falls is very unique. And Jesulin has gone with one squad of them. It doesn't look like he intends to get any more. Grenade going into this building brings the flamethrower very low. Jesulin will continue trying to work on the fuel point. Oh, Panzerschreck snipe! I don't know. Nope, will not get away. Nice wipe by Jesulin right there. That's going to be only 4 conscript squads left. 1 guard squad left. How many squads has he lost? 1 full conscript squad, 1 full combat engineer squad. Not even that many. Jesulin, by comparison, though, I don't think has lost any full squads. No squad wipes by Jesulin. Despite coming quite close a couple times, so he has definitely been pulling into the lead for the manpower game. Fallschirmjäger moving to engage against these conscripts. They'll be forced to retreat right there. And Stern Pios are moving to take control of the victory point here in the north. Grenade flushes them out of cover. Fallschirmjäger get a pretty good burst during that. Volksgrenadiers move into the capture circle. Molotov getting tossed, but I don't know if it's worth it. He needs to retreat immediately if he doesn't want to lose that. Falls might finish the job. There they go. Man, they do such good damage. They do such good damage. Their guns are so strong. I really like the noise their gun makes. It just sounds cool. They're off to a pretty good start. Having fielded only 1 squad of these, they're almost just the only elite infantry he's all that likely to get. He has knock on tier 4. I thought he was going to go tier 4, but he went tier 3 again. Not using a transfer ability. The falls are up to 10 kills in vet 1. It's going to be very important to vet these up and turn them into a seriously dangerous, hard-hitting squad over the course of the game, the way his Stern Pios have been as well. 11 kills on them, 10 kills on the falls, and then most of the damage Volksgrenadiers have been able to do is from grenades. 2 Panzerschrecks purchased. The rest of the munitions pretty much all spent on grenades by Jesulin. I don't think he's planted a single mine. I don't think he's used munitions on anything other than Panzerschrecks and grenades. As far as I'm aware. Doesn't even have a minesweeper yet. Fortunately for Jesulin, VonAsten has not pressured him into getting a minesweeper, and he doesn't actually have any combat engineers with which to plant mines. Spending a lot of manpower on guard rifles. He has 3 squads of guard rifles on the field now.
Infantry assault! Parachutes! Ready to deploy!
Supply half-track is in action. Standing by for setting of command post.
Get to Marsh! Protect the flank!
Jagd Panzer, ready for action.
Combat promotion! Enemy movement! On the flank!
Looks like Jesulin is going to go with the second squad of Fallschirmjäger. We'll see if he can. We'll see if you can micro them both effectively. This one has made it to Vet 2 during that engagement, and a Jagdpanzer's on the field now. VonAsten is clearly going straight to T-34s, so the Jagdpanzer wasn't really necessary yet. It won't be able to do anything except for destroy cover for now, which is a pretty useful thing to be able to do, in all fairness, but it's not that big of a deal, and it won't have a mechanism with which to vet up or do any serious damage. Looks like Jesulin's going to go destroy this green cover position first. Although the green cover has already been destroyed by something. What happened to that stone wall? I don't even know. Grenade going into this house forces a retreat from those Volksgrenadiers.
Prepare for orders. Prepare for action. Area secured. Unit operational.
No enemy contact.
Jumping the wall, making their way towards the south. VP guards set up in green cover here in the north. Sternpio's on the flank. Fallschirmjäger should probably not make a frontal assault, but Sternpio's moving up on the flank will win the engagement. It might be a little expensive though. Grenade toss. Oh no! What was that grenade toss? He just jumped into his own grenade. He almost wiped his own squad right there. That was horrible. That was brutal. You should not throw grenades into your retreat path and then immediately retreat. He could have lost that squad if Jesulin had not tossed that frangible. Throwing a frangible is very strong, but it actually prevented him from wiping that squad right there. Plus the hedge blocking his Fallschirmjäger line of fire right there. Falls are going to jump into green cover now, which is going to make them very difficult to defeat without, again, throwing a grenade. I don't even think those guards can win this engagement. Oh, what are they doing? They go down so quick.
Send orders. Taking fire. Keep shooting. Enemy movement. Contact. Infantry.
The fighting has lowered the enemy down to 200 points.
Move. Taking effective fire.
I wonder why Jesulin recovered that PTRS on his Sternpios. I guess because the only other option was putting it on his Fallschirmjäger. That wouldn't have been that good. It's gonna really reduce their close range DPS though, unless they get lucky bursts. I don't think that that is a very good weapon for them to pick up, but it will be nice to at least deny it to his enemy. Again, they can't fire it on the move either. And if they upgrade with a Minesweeper, I'm not sure if the icon will show up over his head, whether he has the Minesweeper out or not. That might be kind of confusing. I'm not sure how that works, actually. Volksgrenadiers in the building have to retreat. VonAsten has pushed Jesulin away. Cutoff is falling into Jesulin's control, so munitions will not be coming in or fuel. Victory point will be slowed though. Jesulin has a huge VP lead right now. VonAsten making his way towards the north. Grenade toss it. No, retreat! Oh man, really? I felt like he retreated in a pretty decent amount of time, but it looks like he's gonna at least get away. I can't believe how much damage that did. That was brutal. That was a really, really scary grenade. I wonder if some crits were involved right there. There's like some small percentage chance that an explosion will instantly kill an infantry model, even if it doesn't do like a certain amount of damage. Jagdpanzer will move up to destroy this cover position. Like I said, that's one of the only things that can really usefully contribute right now. There goes the cover. Falls engaging those guards. It's gonna jump behind some new cover. Jagdpanzer might move up to try and get that destroyed next. There it goes. Getting pretty decent utility out of that for now until it actually has something to engage. T-34s will be hitting the field very soon. Once they do, we've seen Jesulin struggle with Jagdpanzers in the past. He always kind of falls back on a Volksgrenadier Jagdpanzer strategy when he's behind. And I've never seen it actually work. But this game it might. This game it actually might. He's actually gone with all 3 tech structures now, and I think from this point forward he's going to try and make it to King Tiger. Very patient to try to accomplish that. It's going to take a long time, and he's going to have to fight off a lot of Soviet tanks. But he has a huge victory point lead, so it may not necessarily come to that if he can just maintain victory point control. T-34s are, however, on the field, and Jesulin may be able to hear those through the fog, and as a result react and try and get this Jagdpanzer to a nice defensive location. With 2 false squads on the fields, he will have access to at least 2 Panzerfausts, should it come to that, so that'll be important as well. The Jagdpanzer's taken minor damage from PTRS fire. There's also a Volksgrenadier squad protecting its flank. It looks like the T-34s want to go straight in on it. Jesulin has not planted any mines, so he'll need to react quickly. He does react pretty quickly, but I don't think he's going to get away. He's taken so much damage already, and if he tries to kite them, he'll get out of range of the Volksgrenadiers in the building, and it looks like he's just going to immediately lose this. He does get a main gun crit, but it doesn't really matter because he has no mines, no other defenses, no Raketenwerfer. And I think he could have prepared for that a little better. None of his Panzerschrecks are available to support, no Fallschirmjäger for engine damage, no mines, no Raketenwerfers, so kind of Jesulin's own fault that just happened. Nice play by VonAsten to capitalize on that thing being completely undefended. Jesulin will trade though, I think. Not quite. Really close to trading. Surprised that squad got away. Trying to work the north simultaneously with that engagement happening against his Jagdpanzer. His Volksgrenadiers inside the building, doing minor damage to the C-34s. Pretty decent amount of damage.
Field promotion! Grenadiers operational. Full strength.
Oh, I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize that Mubot was still advertising the Star-Crossed Kings. I'll turn that off. Oops.
Receiving enemy fire!
Stern Pios and Falls working on this guard squad. Yeah, I don't really like the idea of picking up a PTRS on a squad that pretty much constantly needs to be on the move. Close range infantry should basically never pick up a weapon that requires them to hold still. That does not work out very well. Too bad you can't drop weapons that you pick up. That would be kind of neat. You could like just, if you only really wanted to deny it to your enemy, you could just pick it up and then drop it off in your base or something. That'd be kind of a fun feature. Grenades being exchanged. There's the frangible. And there's the bundled. He does get clear before it takes any too serious damage though. Ooh, T-34 gets a big hit right there. Grenade being tossed on those guards. Almost wiping the squad. Pretty big manpower bleed right there. Not quite placed just right to finish that squad off though. Not sure he could have placed that better though. It was pretty good placement. MG-34 retreating from the north end. Jesulin will not stall for King Tiger. At this point I would just go straight for like 2 Raketenwerfers and then try and make it to KT. His first Jagdpanzer did terrible. I don't really anticipate his second one doing any better. He needs to support it very carefully. He is going to put this one by his tier 4 structure, so that will help. He's got Panzerschreck and Falls right there. Another Panzerschreck in the building. Still no mines. He's got a lot of munitions he could throw down mines. He is losing map control though. He's lost both flanks. Struggling to engage for the center. Jagdpanzer's available for this push. T-34s take shots at those Fallschirmjäger. Jagdpanzer gets a pretty decent amount of damage off on the T-34s and they disengage. Pretty good engagement for Jesulin. He will maintain control of the center VP and he's got 2 squads heading to the north. We've got a heavy mortar on the field from the Soviet player now. After 4 guard squads. My god. So many guards.
120mm mortars are now available for deployment.
taken our supply sector.
T-34 heading north. Guards working the south against Sturms and Volksgrenadiers. Volksgrenadiers are now Vet 5.
They are now at 100 points.
You can really see that folks like Vet 5 Volksgrenadiers are not nearly as ridiculous as they used to be. They're going down so quick. They used to be practically invincible. Now Vet 2 guards seem to be easily able to clean them up. Because guards' damage got buffed and Volksgrenadier survivability got nerfed, so they're not nearly as bad as they used to be, and I think that engagement was a perfect example of that. Oh no, it happened over here! Is that a mine? I guess I was wrong, he did plant a mine. Shoe mine right there. T-34 moving up on the flank of the Jagdpanzer to try and save it. There is a Volksgrenadier squad to protect the flank though. Jagdpanzer gonna just chase straight into point blank range so it cannot possibly miss shots. It's taking heavy damage. There goes one T-34. This one overextended itself a little bit. Oh, a T-grenade from that squad on the road, though. I don't really think this is a very good trade for Jesulin, personally. He kind of shouldn't have done that. Grenade toss. Doesn't hit anything. That squad may get wipes here. Yep, there it goes. Not good. He's traded 2 Jagdpanzers for 1 T-34. That's terrible. Horrible efficiency. Like I said before, he could have accomplished the same thing he did right there with a Raketenwerfer. His Raketenwerfer probably would have got wiped, and he would have lost a Raketenwerfer instead of a Jagdpanzer. It would have been a great trade, which is exactly why I feel like he should have made one ages ago. He's getting one now. But trying to survive to King Tiger after losing 2 Jagdpanzers is going to be almost impossible.
The enemy is taking what we have secured. We are awaiting orders.
I wish I could read the chat log. I totally missed what somebody just said right there. I wasn't paying attention. You can't push tilde in observer mode, you can only push it in game. There's some other key. Somebody needs to tell me what it is, because I don't know what the key is. Guards have to retreat right there. MG34 retreating there. Grenade toss on some guards. Brings them low. And they will retreat. They probably didn't have to. Wasn't that big of a deal. Stern pilots moving up to engage. These conscripts are now Vet 4. I don't know if their accuracy is improved by any of their Vet bonuses to help their usage of the PTRS. Maybe. So far I haven't seen them land a single hit with that thing. Paul's set up in green cover here in the south, engaging against some guards, getting into close range for a grenade. Oh no! That could be the first Fallschirmjäger wipe. T-34 moving up to finish the job. Fortunately, that was the fresher squad, not the Vet 3 / Vet 4 squad right here. They're trying to work on a heavy mortar. We'll push that back into the base. Getting very close to Vet 4. 24 kills. And there's a Raketenwerfer right there. Man, so many very near wipes on his Fallschirmjäger. There's Vet 4 though. That will be good. I don't know if the 150 manpower he just spent on that Panzerfaust was worth it though. MG34 firing on those guards. Tier 4 structure will protect its flank from those conscripts right there. They will also get suppressed. This MG34, however, has been flanked and must retreat. I'm not sure that'll get away. PTRS is bringing it really low, and there it is. That's the first time Jesulin has lost one of his machine guns. So if we check squad wipes, I think VonAsten might have pulled into the lead here. 4 wipes for him. He has not lost a single guard squad yet.
The enemy is in close
encroaching on our territory.
God damn it.
Contact! Return fire!
Volksgrenadiers back to
And 4 wipes for infantry on Fallschirmjäger, MG34, and Volksgrenadiers, so 4 each, pretty even actually. I think for kills it's probably going more in Jesulin's favor, actually. Although I don't know if that number is probably more equal than it looks because Fallschirmjäger are, like I said, extremely expensive to reinforce. Just a brutally lethal all-around game. Jesulin still has a huge victory point lead right now.
area secure. Cover the advances.
Contact! Infantry assaulting! Find cover. Target and shoot. Objective secured! Find cover!
The squad is back to full strength.
Fall in with the Panzerschreck.
Actually pretty quiet now.
Infantry attacking in force!
Ooh. Some small engagements as battle lines are defended mostly by VonAsten. He's just trying to manage, he's trying to play carefully and safe while he waits for his next set of T-34s. Having 2 victory points under his control and pretty strong defense on the ones he does hold, and a slight push for the center with these 3 units, putting him in a pretty strong position against Jesulin, who seems to make a full retreat every time he comes close or engages anywhere. Bundle grenade on that machine gun wipes it. They don't take any model losses, so that's pretty good progress there in the south.
Grenadiers back to
Next time he pushes for that area, he might be able to take it under his control. T-34 moves to that area, though. Conscripts are in that house to prevent falls from spawning out of it, but I seriously doubt Jesulin has any plans to spawn any further Fallschirmjäger this game. And he has finally made it to a Panther. If I were him, I would just try and go for King Tiger. He could easily make it with 300 victory points left. He just needs to keep on stalling, surviving. I think a King Tiger is a better idea. I don't know. Having a Panther will be nice, but against 3 T-34s, which of course there's going to be another set, a King Tiger would be so much more powerful. And it would be really good against guards. I think King Tiger would have been a better decision, like ages ago. He could have gotten one. So he's lost so much fuel this game just for no reason. He lost his mechanized regiment headquarters when it was under construction. He lost 2 unsupported Jagdpanzers. Now he's going Panther. I don't know if I think a Panther can survive a coordinated push by 3 T-34s utilizing marked vehicle or button or PTRS lucky hits. That's going to be a really tough sell. He's going to have to be extremely careful with it and support it beautifully with Raketenwerfers and Panzerschrecks. It's going in hard on this T-34. I hope it doesn't overextend. We have a huge flanking force here in the north. T-34 is moving in from this direction. Raketenwerfer has to retreat. MG has to retreat. This MG is in a lot of danger. They're going to skip right past all of these forces and go straight in on that Panther, which has its rear armor exposed, engine damage, and it's dead. Jesulin, where's the support? What are you doing? No! And there it goes. It's abandoned. And that's the game. GG. Jesulin overextended his armor too many times. Couldn't maintain control of that. He was already off to a rough start, losing that mechanized regiment headquarters, and for a brief moment it looked like he would actually come back and win, having the whole map. Pretty much outplaying VonAsten for map control, but once those call-ins hit the field, Jesulin lost control again and could never recover it. GG. Allies win.